Hello YouTube, Rambling in the Bramble, and today is the episode about nothing, the video about nothing. That's right, you heard about the show about nothing? This is my channel episode about nothing. And I'm just strolling in a nice park near me, Powder Mills Park, near the fish hatchery, containing rainbow and brown trout. And we've got a nice big rusted steel fish behind me, signifying the hatchery. Let me turn the camera around, get out of the way for a minute. Yes, a nice steel rusted fish. It fascinates me, the artistry of it. You know, not being an artist, well, I've attempted drawing and painting, but I'm fascinated by people that could really do this kind of stuff. The work, the detail that goes into it. Then you got a rusty steel bike that's going into it. I'm not sure what that signifies. A steel metal bike that's going into the side of a fish. Maybe it symbolizes the park, and you could ride your bike in the park. Who the hell knows? I'm just shooting the shit here, walking through the park right now toward the hatchery. It's a beautiful sunny morning. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, although you can't see the sun beyond the trees, so I probably look a little shaded right now, but yeah, I've been here many times. It's a great way to come and chill and relax, to chillax. And it says, please only use the food from the machine to feed the fish. Okay, noted. I'm just walking along here, looking around. Beautiful trees, beautiful pines. The park's great. The day is great. I'm great. You're great. And we're just doing nothing but strolling. And what do we have? We have something interesting here. Kind of a little chair with a roof carved out of what looks like a big trunk of a tree. And I'm going to go sit down on it for a minute, just because I can. And we're here, it's here, I'm here, you're here. All right, I've had enough of that, and now I'm going to we're walking over toward the hatchery. Guy working over there. And this gives the whole story about the Powder Mills Park Fish Hatchery. Where they receive thousands of trout and raise them to maturity to release in a nearby creek, Irondequoit Creek. This gives a little bit of history from 1930 to today about the fish hatchery. Without the hatchery facilities such as the Powder Mills hatchery, trout populations would not have returned to Irondequoit Creek. So the park and hatchery plays a pivotal role in the trout populations here in the Irondequoit Creek, Lake Ontario, that flows up to Lake Ontario, up in the Monroe County area. And like I said, there's brown and rainbow trout. Just turned it on one of the raceways here. You could see the trout. Just wanted to show you a little bit of what that's about. The guys are working down here. Morning. Good, and you? Yeah, I was just, yesterday as I was walking through the fish hatchery, the manager of the hatchery was saying that the New York State DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation, was planning on discontinuing the stocking of the Irondequoit Creek around the park, which has a lot of people, including the park and fish hatchery personnel, kind of upset. Because each year they stock the hatchery traditionally stocks the Irondequoit Creek with about 10 to 14,000 brown trout. Now, he was saying they could still stock the immediate area, within their jurisdiction around the park, but the creek winds through many miles in through Monroe County, up from I think Mendon, New York, to Irondequoit Bay out to Lake Ontario. So if this initiative takes hold, he was explaining, it's going to have a big impact on fishing opportunities. Many people enjoy fishing in Irondequoit Creek. It's heavily fished throughout the year, and they're going to have to rely on wild fish. DEC would only support, wild fish, wild trout inhabiting the creek. And he was saying this is going to make it almost impossible for all but the most experienced anglers to catch fish. It's going to have a big impact on the fishing in the area. So he was explaining that the episode of the video about nothing ended up turning into something. So I signed a petition. He asked me to sign a petition about it, and he said they have an online petition at change.org. So I wanted to support the fish hatchery and the fishermen in the area, and that's what that was all about. I was just talking to the gentleman employed by the park, and they have a whole process. They have a tub here of fingerlings, babies. I don't know if you could see them. And yeah, it's a whole process, a step by step, where they'll release like 10,000 a year in the spring to nearby Irondequoit Creek. When the trout are mature enough, and at least half of those will be caught before they swim up to Irondequoit Bay, before they could even make it to Irondequoit Bay in Lake Ontario. So about half of them or less maybe even make it out of the creek, during trout season. So yeah, that's a little bit about the fish hatchery. I know I said it was the episode about nothing, but who knows? We're just shooting the shit, going with the flow, seeing what happens. And as we proceed on through the park, oh, here's the pond where they release the fingerlings at about 2 years old, I believe. And the gentleman who works here that was telling me about the whole thing, once they're at maturity and ready to release the trout to Irondequoit Creek, like I said, they'll work their way up toward Irondequoit Bay and Lake Ontario. And the ones who make it at the end of the season, I believe, when it starts getting cold, will work their way back through the creek. They've imprinted their environment and their surroundings of the creek, and then will make their way back toward Irondequoit Creek, toward the park. Yeah, so yeah, I wasn't expecting to give a little background on the fish hatchery, but yeah, you never. I know I said it was the episode about nothing, but hey, that's what makes it great. You know, we're just going with the flow. So yeah, it's nothing in particular. And I continue to move away from the hatchery and toward the park, towards some trails, which, you know, one of my favorite places to hike in the region. Many awesome trails. One of the nice things I like about this is you have flat and you have a lot of hilly terrain, you know, for a nice workout. There's the Powder Mills Park sign off in the distance, almost like the Hollywood sign, right? Yeah, so it's about it today. I just wanted to get out there and talk a little bit about nothing in the fish hatchery. Oh man, it's such a beautiful day. I don't see a cloud in the sky. It's got to be about 75 right now. Perfect temperature, 75, 80. I'm not sure. Who knows? And I'm working my way toward one of the trails. So, yep. Rambling and bramble, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.